Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Passing Time with Craig. As always, I'm your host, Craig McFarland, and we're continuing to social distance. And today we've got a lot to talk about with this guy. But we've got Ben Montgomery, musician and podcast host. Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm grand, mate. I'm grand. I've got my coffee. I've got my water. I'm awesome.
You're you're all set for basically what everybody else's day is like.
Yeah,
Cool. Coffee and water, and I'm sitting in front of a computer. Cool.
yeah, exactly. And it's a rainy day as well, so it's the perfect day to sit in front of a computer.
Yeah. No, it's not very exciting out there right now.
It's not.
But yeah,
It's
so
not.
we've got a lot to talk about here. So obviously, um, people can't figure out right away here. You're originally from Scotland.
That's right. I was born in Edinburgh, but I was raised in Glasgow. So Glasgow and Edinburgh, if people don't know, it's like an hour away from each other, at
Yeah.
different ends of the country. Scotland's a pretty small country, it's like 5 million, 6 million people, But yeah, I went to school, like high school in Glasgow, and then I went to university in Edinburgh for 2 years to study music, music business, music production, and performance. Have you been to Edinburgh before?
I haven't, no, but I want to go.
Mate, it is unbelievable. Edinburgh is beautiful. Edinburgh's the capital, so we have like a castle on top of
Yeah,
an old um, volcano,
yeah.
and I took my girlfriend Shelby to Edinburgh, and it used to be a prison. This
Oh,
castle, right? It used to be a prison, and I think I'm not sure if it still is. I'm not sure if it still is like some sort of prison or whatever. But the first ever prisoner in Edinburgh Castle was in 1117.
wow.
So the castle is older than that. So
Yes.
it's old as hell. Edinburgh is just so much history and stuff. I learned so much like taking my girlfriend Shelby around like these touristy like parts of Edinburgh that I didn't know of. But yeah, if you ever get a chance to go to Scotland, go to Edinburgh and Glasgow as well. Glasgow is a fantastic music scene.
Well, it's my goal. I've got Scottish ancestors, so I want to
Yeah.
go to Scotland someday. And yeah, I mean, I know I've been to like parts of Europe, like I've
Mhm.
been to the UK and I went to Ireland. And I was like just in awe of all these stuff that was like people were like, why are you like so like taking pictures of these things? Like, because this thing is older than my country. Like
Mate, I know, honestly, it's ridiculous. Especially with a name like Craig McFarlane, that's
yeah,
straight out of
yeah,
Scotland,
yeah.
honestly.
I
But
was I, we were originally MacFarlane, and then we got kicked out of the clan. That
oh,
is from what I've heard. And so yeah, go us.
goddamn clans. But yeah,
But
man.
yeah, so you grew up there. You went to school for music. Like you music. How long has music been in your life? Like I mean, obviously it's been in everybody's life forever. But like, why
Mhm.
was it about you that drew to you?
Um, so when I was maybe 10 years old, no, 9 years old, I was 9 years old, and my mum took me to see the film School of Rock with Jack Black
Yeah,
in the cinema, and I was blown away. And it was with a guitar player, actually, with a guitar player in that film. And I said to my mum, I want guitar lessons.
yeah,
The next day, my mum got me guitar lessons in a small place just outside of Glasgow that we lived called Lanark. And I had guitar lessons for 5, 6 years, and I just couldn't pick it up. No matter how hard I practiced, I just couldn't pick it up.
yeah,
But I loved it. I really did love it. I loved my favorite band at the time was like Green Day. I think they
yeah.
brought out American Idiot, that album, and it's still one of my favorite albums to date. Um, and like Linkin Park and stuff. But yeah, I just couldn't get the hang of guitar at all. So I was like, "Oh, you know what? I'll try drums. I'll try. I like Dave Grohl, so I'll uh, I'll try drums." And I just picked it up. The first lesson, I just picked it up super quickly. Um, so from then on, I was like, yeah, I want to be a drummer. I want to be a drummer. And I was coming to the end of my high school years, and I was like, okay, what am I going to do after high school? I could, I don't know, I can maybe go to university for architecture, or I could join the fire brigade because my whole family back home are in the fire brigade. My uncle, my auntie, my granddad, um, everyone in my
Yeah.
basically everyone in my family is in the fire brigade, so it was not family tradition, but they were like sort of pushing me to join the fire brigade.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, I could join the fire brigade, or I can maybe see how music goes. So I went to college in Glasgow for 2 years, because my grades weren't good enough to get into university, because all I did was just play drums constantly and did not study. Um, so I went to college for 2 years to do my HND at North Glasgow College, which is now changed to Glasgow Kelvin College, because
Oh,
they had to when the money got cut short, and they merged two colleges together, so it just made one big college. But I met some fantastic people. I met one of my best friends, Ross Miller, there, who's also a drummer, who's still in Glasgow, and yeah, it was fantastic experience meeting great musicians. And then I was like, okay, well, I can maybe further it on a bit more. So the only course in Scotland that was doing popular music at the time was in Edinburgh, and that was
oh yeah.
Edinburgh Napier University. We had a course in Glasgow, at Strathclyde University, but that got cut. So I went to Edinburgh, and I auditioned, and then I came out of the audition room, and I've not got in. Oh, I've messed this up big time. So I applied for other universities down in London and Liverpool. I applied for LIPA, which is Liverpool Institute of Performing Arts, which is Paul McCartney's old high school that's
Oh,
renovated into this music school. It's like
yeah.
ballet, jazz, you know, music and stuff like that. Unbelievable facilities down there. So if anyone's looking to study music in the UK, go there. And then down in London at Tech Music School as well. And I got accepted for both of those, but they were like, "That's $30,000, £30,000, please." And I
No.
was like, "Oh, I can't really afford that." And university in Scotland's free, so I think I'm going to go for the free option. So yeah, I went to Napier for 2 years. I met some of my best friends that I still keep in contact with, and uh, yeah, and then after university, I got a job teaching in a music school in Bellshill Music Academy
Yeah.
for a few months, and that was meant to be like I was gonna have that job for a long time. That was my plan anyway, and then I got the opportunity to go on tour with a band around Europe, and I was like, oh, I love touring. I love playing live. I love teaching, of course, and I still do teach. Um, so I decided to go on tour for a month, and that tour was one of the craziest tours I've ever been a part of.
Yeah.
Mate,
Hey,
honestly, it
you
was.
went you went a lot, and that was with Atlas Empire, right?
That's correct. Yeah, Atlas
I do my
Empire.
research.
Yeah, yeah, you do. Yeah, wow. Um, Atlas Empire. Right. So these guys are fantastic. Really, really nice blokes. The music was out of my league at the time. I was more of a sort of like I was a rock drummer, but like sort of more leaning towards funk and blues, that sort of thing. And these guys are very much alternative, progressive, odd time signature-y, rushy type rock.
Yeah.
So I had to learn, you know, a bunch of stuff with those guys, like double kick drum, that sort of thing. And yeah, it was crazy, but I loved it. And yeah, and those guys are fantastic. So our first tour we went around Europe. Well, we started in the UK, went from Glasgow down to London, and then we drove from London round Europe and stuff. And we were supporting a band from Australia called Closure in Moscow. If you haven't heard of Closure in Moscow, they are unbelievable. Their frontman Chris is one of the best frontmen I've ever seen in my life. Closure in Moscow, they are fantastic. And we were, what show was it? We were in Paris, and we were playing this really small venue in Paris. We played our set. It was a 3-band bill. We played our first set, and then the second band went on, and then Closure in Moscow went on.
Yeah.
While they were playing, we heard gunshots,
Oh shit.
and we heard explosions, and it was the Paris bombings.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so we were in we were in the middle of Paris while that was going on, and I ran outside with the boys from Atlas. Went outside, and We saw police cars. We saw, yeah, but we were maybe 300 yards away from the cafe that got shot up. So there was a cafe, and then there was like two other venues.
Yeah.
And we were about 300 yards away from this cafe that was getting shot up by the police and stuff like that. There's a big fucking gun battle. Oh, it was nuts. And we ran inside. We're like, we need to cut it short. We need to go. We need to go.
Yeah.
And then the owner was like, he jumped on the mic and he spoke in French and he spoke in English, and he said, "Everyone here is staying in. We're closing down. We're staying in here. There's a terrorist attack in Paris." So we had a show in Switzerland the next day. So we're like, we just got to get out of here. So we packed our van as quickly as possible, just flinging stuff in. It's like
Yeah.
willy nilly. And our driver Graham at the time, who's like the nicest guy. He's the best driver in the world, because he went 12 hours from Paris to Switzerland without any sleep. 12 hours
Wow.
through the night. He's a monster. And we were driving through Paris, and people were leaving their cars just in the middle of the road. Just left their cars with the doors open and stuff like that, but the car's still going. We were like bobbing and weaving. It was like something out of a movie.
Yeah.
But it was real, of course. And we were contacting our friends and family back home saying, we're okay, we're okay. And they were saying, well, the border's closed. You can't get out. You can't get out of France. So we'll chance it. We need to go, of course. So we left Paris. We got to the border, and the border patrol looked at us, looked at our passports, checked our van, and then let us through. So we're lucky we got through for sure. And then we got to Switzerland like 12 hours early. So we were sleeping in the van outside the venue, and we got into the venue to set up. By the way, Switzerland is beautiful. Like, we played in this really small town in Switzerland, and there was just mountains just all around, like beautiful mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to Switzerland and we set up, and then the owner of the bar was like, "There's no gig tonight."
Really?
Yeah, there's no gig tonight to pay respects to people
Uh,
in Paris.
yeah.
So we were like, well, fair enough, fair enough. So we drove from that gig to our next gig, which was in Hungary, in Budapest. And then we stayed in a hostel in Budapest, and yeah, things were getting a bit heated between us and this other band, because I'm not going to say their name, but like we were lending them our gear because they were from the States and they didn't have all their gear. So we were lending them our gear for £50 a night.
Yeah.
Okay. And we rented the van for both bands, and they were meant to pay half. And actually in Hungary after the show, they were like, "Yeah, we don't want to continue with this tour anymore. We want to go home." Like, cool, that's fine, no problem. You can go home. Like, if you're not up to it, then whatever. But they wouldn't pay the second half of the van. They wouldn't pay for the rental of our gear. They were using a drum kit. They were using our guitar pedals, or like guitar amps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We're like £50 a night. That's pretty reasonable, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, they just didn't want to pay. And yeah, so things got a bit heated. At the time, I wasn't in the band. I was just filling in. So
Right.
I kind of stepped back a bit. I was like, this doesn't involve me for sure. But yeah, it got a bit things got a bit heated for sure. And then it was resolved. I don't know how. And then we drove home from Hungary to Glasgow, which took, God, ages, like maybe 2 days or something like that. I mean, maybe stopped like twice.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a crazy tour.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I don't think a lot of people have tour stories like that.
Oh, mate, honestly, so that was my first experience of a tour. My first tour, and the guys in Atlas were like, "Seriously, tour isn't like this at all. Like, the tour isn't like this. You don't go to Paris and people are getting shot left, right, and center, and like the band refuses to pay and stuff like that. This isn't what tour is like." I get it, but man, it was crazy, and that'll stick in my mind for the rest of my life for sure.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
okay. And now I want to ask you. so you is it easy to get in different mindsets of music? So like you were in a rock band. You said before like you were more like funk and jazz, but you
Yeah.
also were a percussionist in an orchestra and like and doing like famous soundtracks. Like you did performances of like The Wizard of Oz and stuff, like music that people well know but aren't really rock music.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, funny story. Like, I kind of bluffed my way into that gig. I was at uni, and it's my first year at uni actually where I started. And I was in my flat, and I was just, doing uni work or whatever. And I got a knock at the door, and it was a bloke, uh, John Hayes, and he worked for a local radio station. And he was like, "Hi, I'm just doing like a wee survey for this radio station. Um, if you fill out the questionnaire, I'll give you £5." I was like, yeah, sure. I'm a student. I'm poor. I need five
Yeah,
pounds.
I'll take
So
anything.
yeah, I was like, come in, John. I'll give you a cup of tea and we'll chat. So he came in, we had a wee chat, and then I filled out the questionnaire or whatever, and we started chatting a bit more. And he's like, "What are you studying at university?" "I'm studying music." "Oh, really? Oh, what's your instrument?" "I'm a drummer." "Oh, I'm a conductor at Inner Leithen Orchestra Society." "Right. We're looking for a drummer and a percussionist." "Right. Okay. Can you play tunes percussion?" "Sure.
Sure.
Sure. It was like, like my first sort of gig, big
Yeah.
gig, paid gig. And I was like, yeah, I can play tune percussion, mate. Aye. And we had a conversation about it, and he was like, I've got your email. I'll send you over all the stuff. I'll send you the music. I'll send you like, everything. No problem. Okay. See you later, John. See you later. As soon as he left, I was like Googling what is tune percussion. Right. Yeah. Okay. Glockenspiel. Okay. Glockenspiel. I've no idea how to play Glockenspiel. So I phoned up my mate at uni, who's actually a tune percussion player. And I was like, I got asked to do this gig. Um, I need to play tune percussion. You need to teach me. He's like, right, okay, cool. So the next day, I went up to uni, and like he sort of, and it's like exactly the same layout as a piano, right? And I was
Yeah.
like, right, okay, I can understand. So he taught me for like a few hours, and I got the music, and then I got the sheet music and stuff like, excuse me, like that. And then I had maybe about a week or so until we had like a rehearsal, and then after that rehearsal day, we were going for 2 weeks straight.
Yeah.
And that was a show called South Pacific. And yeah, I had my drum kit set up, and then I had my glockenspiel beside me. And what I'd done was, because I have a terrible memory, I'd written on all the um, like wooden slate like the things, and
Yeah.
I just written like the keys and stuff like, okay, so that's A, that's B, that's C, that's D, and stuff like that. So I just like on B like sticky paper so I can remember them. So the drum kit part was easy. It was pretty simple stuff. We were in the pit, of course, and yes, I was just reading the music and stuff, and then it come to the glockenspiel part, and I was be like, oh yeah, I just had to jump up and then just play something, and
Yeah.
then pretend that and then just go back to it and just pretend. And the first night, I just saw John just looking over at me, and then just continuing with his conducting and just looking over at me. Mm-hmm. And then he came up to me. He's like, "You all right, Ben?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm fine. I'm all right. I'm all right." He's like, there were some parts there that you kind of fluffed." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll get him tomorrow. I'll get him tomorrow, John." And I was like, "Okay, okay, cool." So I left that night, and I took the music home with me, and I studied all night. And I was like, "Right, okay. So this part, this part, right? Okay, okay. So I think I got it." And then the rest of the week was a lot better.
Yeah.
That was my first experience of theatre work. And then he asked me back the next year, and the next year after that. But like, thank God, the second year and third year there wasn't any Glock. It was just, thank God, so it was just drum parts. So that was pretty simple. But yeah, I loved it. Like, there were some fantastic musicians in that orchestra pit, like all like older generation, like music teachers and stuff. And there was a bloke there who played like 9 instruments. You know,
Wow.
um, he was crazy. Yeah, like there was an English teacher. He was an English teacher. He was an English teacher, and he would like whap out the saxophone, and then whap out something else, and then like he had like all these instruments just like wrapped around him and stuff. Like, what? Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, it was a really awesome experience. For sure, I'd do it again. Um, yeah, it was great.
What is it like like, you think of performing solo or being in a band, and a band maybe is like 3 to 5 people, but then to be in an orchestra with so many people, like what is that like to have a huge team, I guess?
Um, Especially in as a drummer in the pit, when you have to sort of keep everyone together, and the more people, the harder it is. When you play especially in a big band, the more people there are, the more difficult it is to keep everyone together. The job's drummer in that situation is to keep everyone together, to keep everyone in time. Of course, the conductor is keeping time as well, um, and everyone can see him out the corner of their eye while they're sight reading and stuff. But it's I'm not gonna lie, the first maybe 2 or 3 nights, it was pretty daunting,
Yeah.
because everyone knew each other. I was the new guy. Everyone knew each other. Everyone knew that there were sick musicians and they've played with each other for years and stuff. And I was the new young guy with a shocking bow tie that I couldn't tie properly, and I was just like, oh god, okay, like let's see how this goes. But yeah, it's pretty daunting, But what I'd say to young musicians is read.
Yeah.
Be able to read, because if you're able to read, the world is your oyster for sure. Because if you don't read, you're cutting your gigs in half.
Yeah.
If you can read, you can take any gig, Like I've worked on some cruise ships and stuff, and that's all reading. Especially when you're doing fill-in work. I did 2 contracts. My first contract was a longer one. My second contract was 10 days, and the 10-day contract, I was actually here in Calgary, just visiting my girlfriend for 2 weeks, and they phoned me. Carnival phoned me, and they said, "We need you on a ship in Miami in 2 days." Like, okay. Well, luckily for you, in Canada, I can fly from Canada to Miami. They're like, no, we need to fly you from Glasgow. So, okay, so I flew back home, and then arrived. The minute I arrived in my house, I packed my bags, and then I slept for maybe 2 or 3 hours, and then I left to go to Miami. Yeah, rockstar lifestyle.
Yeah.
And and yeah, and then I flew from Glasgow to Miami, stayed in a hotel overnight, and then got on the ship. And then I met everyone, and I met the band leader, a guy from Argentina. He just gave me all the music that night, and maybe a few hours before we were playing, and he was like, "Cool, here's the music." Had the tempo written out on all the music as well. So yeah, and then I just had a look through, made my markings and stuff, and then we sat down, and we're okay. We're playing 80s tonight. Okay, 3 45-minute sets. Okay, 80s charts. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's just you just go.
Yeah.
There's no rehearsal period at all. You're just like, right, let's hopefully this goes well. But going to music school and learning how to read, um, that's been a massive asset to my playing and stuff like that. So if you're a young drummer, that's what I teach my students as well at School of Rock in Calgary. If you're a drummer, if you want to be a professional drummer, read. You
Yeah.
know, read for sure. But yeah, being a drummer is pretty daunting, because as I said, you need to keep everyone in time. You're the foundation of the band. You and the bass player are the foundation of the band. If you're not tight with that bass player, if you and the bass player aren't together, then it's just a scrumash. You know.
Yeah.
Um,
And people want to hear good music, and
exactly. People want to hear good music, and if the drummer's job is to make people dance as well,
yeah.
and if you don't groove, then you're not doing your job.
So you mentioned going and doing cruise ships, a Carnival cruise. Had you done a lot of like? Have you been on a lot of boats leading up to this? Like, were you nervous about being on for so long and getting seasick or and getting cabin fever? Like,
I not really. No, I didn't really take that into consideration. When I was with Atlas, I was coming to the end of that chapter. I was like, guys, I kind of want to make a bit of money playing music. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. The album we recorded was sick, so um, I just want to make like some money, because being in an originals band in Glasgow, it's kind of hard to make a bit of money. So um, I said I want to work on some cruise ships. They were like, sure, no problem. Like that's totally fine with us. So I left that band and I just applied for Carnival. Actually, I went through an agency. So I found an agency in California called Landa Music, and then I auditioned for them, and then they sent me emails saying such and such is looking for a percussionist or a drummer. So I applied to Carnival, and the audition was in Manchester. So they sent me two songs, and I took a train down to Manchester. I stayed overnight in Manchester, and then I had the audition at 9 o'clock the next morning. And yeah, they had the studio set up and a few people from Carnival there writing notes or whatever. And then I played one song, and then I did like a sight reading type thing, and like a snare drum type thing. So did that, and that was all good. And then left Manchester. Maybe 2 weeks later, I get an email saying you've passed that first edition onto the second edition. Okay, so I did the second edition, and that was unbelievably stressful. So I've spoken to a few carnival musicians, and it's different every time. It's maybe I think it's different for like drummers and singers or whatever. But for my experience was I did it like some online questions and stuff where like they give you a question and then you click this button and then it's like a video answer, and there was maybe 5 or 6 questions of those, and at the end of that you're like, okay, so you've done the question bit, click this button. So I clicked that button, and then it was like a countdown from 1 hour, and they're like, here's 3 pieces of music. You have 1 hour to print them off, to read it, to record yourself, post it online, and send it to us. I was like, oh, okay. I don't have the equipment to do that. Okay, I have a camera. Who do I know that has like a drum kit? Okay, because I put an electric drum kit in my flat at the time. So I just phoned up my pal who owns a studio in Glasgow. I was like, I need a studio for an hour. So okay, sure, that's no problem. Just come down. So I packed my car as quickly as I possibly could, printed off the stuff, the music, and then ran down to the studio. And I got, as soon as I got all the stuff set up, got my laptop set up, got the camera set up, I had maybe 5 minutes. And I was like, right, I'm just gonna have to do it. So I just recorded it as quickly as I possibly could, and then posted it online. I was a bit late, but I was just like, that's the best I can do. Like that's literally the best I can do. I can't do any more than that. And then I didn't hear back for maybe a week, and then they said I got the job. I was like, wow, God, like thank God for that, because that was a lot of effort for sure.
Yeah,
And then
that would have been really shitty if you were like, and I didn't get the job.
exactly, yeah. But yeah, and then I found out I was going on Carnival Sensation, which is maybe one of their oldest ships, and I was like, sweet, can't wait. And then I got an email from a band manager saying, hi, I'm Cody, such and such. Here's the list of the music. Here's some charts and stuff. We're going to be rehearsing in Miami for a month. And I was like, sweet. So I flew out to Miami, and we went into Carnival Studios, which was brand new at the time. And oh my God, the equipment there is unbelievable. So we stayed in apartments, maybe just beside the rehearsal studios, and oh, what a time we had. There was pools, there was gyms. Oh, it was awesome. This is in Fort Lauderdale. So we were there for a month, rehearsing our set, transitions, whatever. But yeah, it didn't really occur to me that I was going to be on a ship for 6 months.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, oh, I'm in Miami. I've never been to Miami before. I'm playing with these great musicians. I'm playing these really cool songs. And we got into the ship. And I was like, oh, super excited, And Shelby, my girlfriend, like this was her second contract. So she was telling me all about it. And our guitar player at the time, this is his second contract as well. So he was telling me all about it. And yeah, like maybe 3 or 4 months into that contract, I was like, this is awesome. This is really, really, really fantastic. Like, I love it. I want to do this for years. Yeah. And then it got to Christmas time, and I was, oh, can I miss my family? I'm like, kind of sick of these trainings that we have to do, like safety trainings. Whatever. I'm a musician. I just want to play music. I just going to do these trainings, and then Christmas time passed, and it was New Year. And I was like, oh God, I want to go home. I just want to have because in Scotland we don't call it New Year, we call it Hogmanay.
Oh.
Hogmanay. I think the reason we call it Hogmanay is because we have a big hog, a big pot roast type thing, and then everyone shares it. Hogmanay, hog for many. I think. I don't know. I don't know if that's right or not.
Wow, it's you know what? Why isn't there a romantic comedy about that? That sounds just so beautiful.
Hogmanay. I know. That'd be beautiful. I'd watch that in cinema.
Yeah.
And then yeah, and then Hogmanay finished, and then it was it was my birthday, and then my dad and my stepmom came out to see me, which was really nice. They came for a cruise, and then Shelby's parents came out for 2 cruises and stuff. And towards the end of the contract, I was like, God, this was great because we got off every port as musicians. We got to see Grand Cayman, we got to see Miami, we got to see Jamaica. We got to see what else? Nassau. Where else? Dominican Republic as well.
Wow.
We saw some fantastic places, and I've got some really cool footage of these places, and I remember it was Christmas time, and I was just walking along the beach, and I was like, God, I just want to be home. I just want to be home. And then I sort of caught myself. I was like, why am I thinking like this?
Yeah.
I'm on the beach in Grand Turk. It's sunny. It's Christmas. People back home are in like the pouring rain, especially in Scotland anyway. They're in pouring rain. Like I was like, I shouldn't think like this. This is awesome, And then I finished that contract, and I was like, you know what, that was great. Being on a ship for 6 months, was an okay time. Most of it was fantastic, but especially during Christmas and stuff like that, it was kind of hard. And I was okay. I just want to do some depth work, and then funnily enough, I got that gig for 10 days, and for sure I'll go back on a ship to do some depth work for sure. Maybe a month max, but it's really cool. Like they fly musicians. They have hundreds of depths. They just fly musicians on for sometimes a day or two. If their singer or drummer is sick and stuff, and then they fly them back. But obviously at the moment nothing's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm guessing you probably don't want to do it right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know.
Ooh, let's be stuck on the ship with all these people. That's gonna be real fun. So
Exactly.
you're here now in Calgary, and we had your roommate and friend Ben Price on, and we talked a bit about but you guys do a podcast together because
it's Benton's birthday today. Actually, sorry.
it's Ben's birthday.
He's
Oh.
27. He's 27. Yeah.
Oh, just a young buck he is.
He is a wee young buck. Yeah. So we're actually going to Peter's for his birthday.
Oh, nice. That's a good
Peter's.
call.
Yeah.
Send me some, please. Well, so you guys do YYC Basement Sessions together.
Yeah.
How did this come about?
So it's a funny story. Like I was talking to Benton about doing something and for like musicians and stuff in Calgary, and I was like, I just want to because I just want to just meet more musicians, and haven't really met that many musicians because as soon as like the day after I arrived in Calgary, I was working constantly, working with Shelby's dad and working with doing like festivals and stuff, doing electrical for festivals. So I was super busy and then teaching on top of that. So I didn't really have a chance to meet other musicians. I just want to meet other musicians. I want to chat music. I want to, play music with musicians and stuff. And then I was telling them about when I was in Atlas, Guy Steve, our guitar player and singer, the way he met musicians, because he worked full time as well. The way he met musicians was he would go to gigs and then he would sort of befriend the band that was playing or the support band or whatever like that were like touring. And then he'd say like, guys, have you got a place to stay tonight? Like, oh, well, not really. No, I might stay in our van, like whatever. He's like, excuse me, I've got 3 or 4 couches in my place. Come stay at mine. Have a few beers and stuff. And then like, yeah, okay, cool. Sure. He'd bring bands over to his place, and then he'd start networking via that. Oh, like you guys were fantastic. I've got a band, Atlas Empire. Here's our card. Hit us up, and then they'd listen to the band and go, oh man, you guys are awesome, man. We need you guys on tour. And it was like, I thought that was quite an interesting way to meet bands, especially if you're like working full time, you don't really get the opportunity to meet other musicians and stuff. So I was like, maybe something like that, because we have the space in our basement. Our basement's huge. And he was just like, well, why don't we bring people in for like a live session? I was like, yeah, that'd be cool, like for like a day. He's like, yeah. I was like, okay, cool. Well, I've got a drum kit. You can use that drum kit. I have some audio experience. We can get a bunch of microphones from Long and McQuaid, rent a bunch of gear from Long and McQuaid for basically nothing
Yeah.
because they're awesome. And we can, we've got some cameras and stuff. Benton's really good at lighting because he's like being a stage manager. So it was sort of coming together a wee bit. We were getting like sort of throwing ideas off each other. And I love Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
And I love Jordan Peterson and stuff. And I was like, it'd be cool. Like, I really want to start a podcast as well. He was like, well, why don't we interview these bands and artists? I was like, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. And we can like release our content and stuff, and we can promote them online. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. So we kind of did a wee bit of work and stuff. And then we made made a Facebook page, made an Instagram page, and then we made this sort of like 8 or 9 page PDF that we send out to bands and artists, and we go, listen, we're Calgary Basement Sessions, we're brand new, we want to bring you into our basement, we want to do a live session, and we want to do a podcast. Here's all the information you'd need, right?
Yeah.
So like a list of all the gear we had, list of the gear that they would need to bring, and yeah, so the idea was to bring bands in at 12 in the afternoon, and they'd play maybe one cover and one original, and then we'd do like a podcast after or before, and yeah, and it was just an idea just to sort of meet bands and network and promote their stuff. So it was like sort of a kind of collage of just everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, and we were in Mexico at the time, and we sent out like a post online saying we're looking for bands and artists to do this Calgary Basement Sessions thing, and we got a flood of emails, texts, messages, and stuff like that. So we just sieved through them and just picked our favorite. Like we picked some of our friends' bands. We picked like bands that we were like, God, these guys are fantastic. We need to get these guys on, and artists as well. And yeah, and then obviously COVID hit, and then our plans just went south.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, well, we can still do the podcast via webcam. So that's what we've done. So we've just set up our basement with a few lights and stuff, and set it as like a sort of a set, basically, because Benton's good at that sort of stuff. And yeah, we've just been interviewing bands. I've interviewed a few. So our Logan Douglas, we've interviewed Cam Bowie as well, a session musician from Calgary. I've done some work with Cam as well, and Cam's a fantastic session musician. He's worked with everyone under the sun. We've done some stuff. Well, we interviewed Nova Scotia Bulls, and we've got a bunch this month of May. We're pretty much booked full in May, interview-wise. We've actually got 2 interviews today, and then yeah, it's working out pretty well for sure. But after this is all done, this COVID stuff is done, we're gonna bring everyone into our basement and
Yeah.
have like a sort of a live session type thing. So yeah, that's how it really started.
It's nice that we can still we can still do this, but I miss being able to have the guest over here and
Yeah, exactly.
talking to them, and it's just a little bit different. But this is nice that we can still
Yeah,
away.
exactly. How long have you been doing your podcast for?
Oh God, we've been over a year now. We started in March of 2019, so it's been fun. And I mean, as you know, like there's so many great, talented people in this city, and that's why I wanted to showcase this. And after this is all over, once COVID, and we can be around people again, like it's very important that people remember that there are talented people here, and we need to go support them. So go pay that $10 to go see 3 bands at Dickens.
Exactly.
As opposed to complaining about having to pay $200 to go see a band at the Saddle Dome.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, you're completely right. Yeah, well, when I came over to Calgary, like, because I'm raised in Glasgow and stuff, so the Glasgow music scene is nuts. It is awesome, and you need to wait for someone to die to get a gig, right? Because the music is there's music everywhere, right? And it's when I came to Calgary, in the summer and stuff, the place was jumping, music everywhere. And there was still, before obviously COVID and stuff, like live jams every night, lots of country music, and we don't get country in Scotland, you know. So that was a learning curve for sure,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, like there's some really fantastic musicians, some fantastic bands here, and it's a very much a different vibe from what I'm used to. But I love it. I really do love it. And there's some really fantastic, and Studio Bell as well. Like that's another thing that Scotland doesn't have. Like the amount of money that's put into that, King Eddie as well, and it's really nice to see that government and a province as well is putting money into the arts. You know,
Yeah.
Banff Centre as well. God,
Yeah.
yeah,
Do you think that Calgary can, once things turn around, do you think Calgary can become like a big music scene like Glasgow, like something that, and it's year round, people are excited about?
um, I think so. Yeah, I really do think so. It was we interviewed Logan Douglas, and he put it in a nice way. He said, Calgary is like the Nashville of Canada.
Yeah.
Um, and I agree with him for sure. There just needs to, like, they're opening up Stephen Avenue for buskers and stuff. That's one thing I didn't notice as well. In Glasgow, there's buskers everywhere,
Yeah.
and it's good quality buskers. I think you need a permit or something like that to do busking. But I noticed there isn't many buskers in Calgary. I get it during the winter because it's like -40 and you'll freeze your nuts off.
Yeah.
But in the summer, of course, um, I haven't been here for Stampede, so obviously I'm not going to see Stampede this year, but maybe next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just more buskers, more because obviously thousands, well, millions of people come to Calgary for Stampede and stuff, and maybe during summer or whatever. I know a few musicians that sort of dabble in Calgary and Nashville as well. But Calgary has some massive potential to be the next hub for music um, in America and Canada for sure. Because Nashville is great, of course, but
Yeah.
Calgary has so much money put in to the arts, and yeah, people need to take advantage of that. They need to take advantage of Banff Centre, Studio Bell, and um, Alberta Music as well.
Yeah.
Alberta Music. Before I came over here, I spoke to my friend Michael, who put me in touch with Alberta Music, and we don't have anything like that in Scotland. They help artists out. They have seminars. Or maybe we do have something like that in Scotland, but it's a lot smaller. But um, yeah, they have networking sessions for musicians. Take advantage of that. It's $100 a year,
Yeah.
and I just can't believe that some musicians haven't even heard of them. Get involved in Alberta Music because they're fantastic people and they help artists and musicians out for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely resources out there, and I would
Mm.
agree. I was always saying that, if we always refer to like Toronto as the New York of Canada and Vancouver is the Hollywood North. So I've said for a while, I'm like, why isn't Calgary the Nashville? Like,
Yeah,
we've got stuff going on, we've got entertainment scene. Like,
yeah,
I think we can be it. So
hundred
let's do
percent. Yeah,
it.
100%. No, I agree. And like, talent's there.
Yeah,
Like I, as I said, we spoke to Cam Bowie, and Cam Bowie is the definition of a session musician, and he knows hundreds of guys in his position. And he goes to studio to studio, works with producers, works with artists and stuff, and OCL Studios as well. You mentioned them. There's a lot of work with them. $5 million studio with rehearsal spaces and stuff just outside Calgary. That's crazy.
yeah,
It's crazy, and they probably are booked solid, but um, it's just what the amount of money they've put into this place for music is nuts. And like, I'm telling my friends back home, and they're like, seriously, wow. I wish the government put as much money as into music as they did over, here. So
yeah.
yeah,
Well, and people want to be entertained. They need music, and I mean, look at music, movies, TV. Like, people are looking for stuff to entertain them and get their mind off things. What
exactly.
else are you working on right now?
So I've got Calgary Basement Sessions, and then I after we finish this month of interviews, um, I'm going to start some online lessons. Now, I used to do this it's via Instagram. So I used to do this years ago, and I called it 330 lessons. And it's 3 videos. Each video is 30 seconds long. And it was quite a big hit. but I couldn't keep it up because I was just too busy.
Right.
So at the moment where well, maybe after Calgary Basement Sessions, I'm not that busy because, I'm staying in the house and stuff, drinking coffee. So I thought I'd just maybe make some lessons and stuff. So I've got a lot of like lesson plans out, and I'm going to start that up again. So people that want to get into drums or music, or if you're already a musician and you want to, work on something during COVID, then check out my Instagram after May. Yeah, after May, after we finish these podcasts, and I'll be posting 3 videos a week, all 30 seconds long, breaking down my favorite grooves, my favorite fills, famous grooves, famous fills from my favorite drummers or records, and yeah, and I'm more than willing for people to contact me and to see if to ask if they want what songs they want to learn or what grooves they want to learn or whatever. So yeah, I've got that, and then at the moment I'm doing some sort of quarantine jam things with my pals back home. So another Ben back home, 3 Bens. I
Do you only like to be friends with people named Ben? Is
no,
it just easier for you to remember?
I'm actually not friends with Ben. Like, I'm
Oh,
actually not.
no.
No, I'm kidding. No,
Happy
yeah,
birthday, Ben.
yeah. No, well, Ben back home. He was the keyboard player in wedding band that I used to play in. He's an unbelievable keyboard player, really nice bloke, and he's got his own project now called Rufus. So, it's like sort of electronic dancing music and stuff. So, check Rufus out on Instagram and Facebook as well. Like he's fantastic. But Ben Blobbin, I call him. I've been doing some sort of jams with him where he like sort of sends me like a wee sort of electronic-y type keyboard bit, and then he sends me the video and then the audio, and then I sort of jam over it, see what I come up with, and we sort of go back and forward like that to see what we can come up with, and then we just edit the video and post it online. Um, I actually started with a guy called Hamish Hay, he's a guitar player and producer, and I met him. He was studying audio engineering at Glasgow University, maybe, and I met him because I was recording with a reggae band in Glasgow, and another gig I fluffed. I just said, "Oh yeah, I can play reggae. Aye, sure, aye, I'll give it a go. Aye, right, what's reggae?" Um, and yeah, I met him because he recorded us, and super nice bloke, unbelievable guitar player. And I just messaged him Monday, and I was like, "We should do some jams, mate. We should do some jams because I'm kind of bored, practicing on my own." So exactly the same thing. He just sent me a bunch of guitar videos that he said, and he sent me the video and he sent me the audio, and then like super funky sort of stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, I just started jamming over them, and then I've done 2 videos with him, one video with Ben, and then another video with my friend Jack, who's also in my old wedding band. But my newest video with Hamish has got a few views. I think it's like 1,700 views or something like that. People seem to like it. So I think I'll for sure be doing more sort of funky sort of stuff. It's like 30 seconds, 35 seconds or something like that.
Yeah.
Just to entertain someone, to entertain people. It's nothing crazy. It's not like 5 minutes jam or whatever like that. So yeah, that's what I'm doing to sort of pass the time, because I'm doing YYC Basement Sessions. I'm practicing like mad, so I may as well practice some with my musician pals back home. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, you're keeping busy, which is important.
yeah, keeping busy because yeah, my brain's just always thinking about stuff. And if I
Yeah.
just sit down for 5 minutes, I'm just like, I need to do something. Like read a book or practice or do something. Because I'll just go nuts. Is
Yeah.
it the same? Is it the same for you? Are you just like trying to keep
Oh,
busy?
oh yeah, yeah. I'm even like, even when I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just watch some Netflix. Like, I can't even choose a movie, like, because I'm like, I I get distracted too easily. I've got something else. So I've just been putting on shows that I've seen a bunch of times,
Yeah, yeah.
so I can easily, like, when I get distracted and I'm like, oh, I should do this, and then just writing down, like, I've got a notepad like always beside me, and I'm just jotting things down. I'm like, oh, what about this? What's that? Oh,
That's
let's do
awesome.
that. So
That's awesome. Awesome. Have you watched Tiger King?
okay, I tried.
You tried. Oh.
I know. I think I'm the only person, but I just, and you know, I worked at Disney World for a year.
Oh, really?
So I
Nice.
lived down in Florida, so I know I got some Florida connection with you there.
Uh-huh.
And so I know that these people exist. I saw it, and I just was having like PTSD or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's just, yeah. So couldn't.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
been a few things that recently that people try and are obsessed with, but I can't. Is there anything else that you are watching that you recommend for people to check out?
Afterlife by Ricky
Afterlife.
Gervais. Yeah. Season 2 is out at the moment. So Ricky Gervais, I find him hilarious, right?
Yeah.
Shelby does as well. Afterlife is it's a show, and it's based in England, and a small town in England, and it's a bloke who's lost his wife to cancer, and he's a journalist for the local newspaper, and he's depressed, and it's super sad at some parts, like tear jerking,
Yeah.
but some parts are hilarious. It's really quite an interesting um, uh, thing on Netflix. It's really depressing but really funny at the same time. Like he has a few of it, like a few cameos of like comedians and stuff, like comedian friends,
Yeah.
and he has this really weird relationship with a prostitute that works in his town, and then a really weird relationship with the postman in this town, where like the postman really likes him, but he hates the postman, and he just hates everyone.
Yeah.
But it's really really funny. People need to watch it, and it's like maybe an episode is maybe like 20 minutes long. It's not
Yeah.
that long, but yeah, we're really loving it at the moment. Um, Shelby and our friend Rebecca, our roommate, are really getting into. It was Love Is Blind, and then
Oh God.
oh yeah, yeah, that sort of stuff. Where it's just like unbelievably attractive people with like six packs and all
I
that sort
mean,
of
I'm
nonsense.
intrigued by because the other one is too hot to handle. Where
Yes, yes.
and I'm intrigued by the idea, and I'm like, you know what, I would take money over sex, I think.
100%.
But yeah, I mean, there's some interesting reality shows that people are just like obsessed over
Oh
right
God.
now, and I just
At the moment, we're watching The Bachelor. Well, they are. Like I'm
yeah,
kind of sort of, I hear it in the background and stuff. But yeah, The Bachelor. So at the moment, The Bachelor. I don't think it's on Netflix. Maybe it's on something else, Crave or something.
yeah,
Um, but it's a bunch of musicians. They get together, like singer songwriter type folk, and you put them in the house together, and it's in LA. And yeah, and they just sort of, see what happens and see who connects with who. And oh my God, the people on this show are nuts, like nuts,
yeah,
like oh my God, like crazy. Um, there's a girl on it who is just obsessed with this guy, but he's gone out with someone else, and she just but this the girl is obsessed with the guy is dating this other bloke, and it's just this really weird sort of love triangle going on, and they're just mental people, and they've like performed together and stuff, and then they have like Kesha come and like um review the performance. Oh, I felt that connection, like I felt it, where they actually
yeah.
just like they just hate each other and they're just in it for the money. Yeah, it's that type of stuff like I'm not really interested in. But Afterlife, The Walking Dead as well. Oh, I love The
I
Walking
mean, The
Dead.
Walking Dead is kind of what's happening right now, so
Yeah, yeah, I know. I know. I know. It's weird, eh?
a little too on the nose. No, but I've heard good things about the afterlife. So, well, I've heard good things about the afterlife, and I've heard good things about afterlife.
Oh.
Heard,
Yeah.
I mean, I probably won't hear the good things once. No.
Aye, but yeah,
Uh,
get yourself watching Afterlife, and and Joe Exotic, if you can stand, if you can.
Yeah. Well, and then of course, like people can check out your stuff. Like, check them. So if people are looking for stuff to watch or listen. So you're on Instagram at Ben Monty Music.
Ben
Uh,
Monty Music, yeah.
and then it's YYC Basement Session.
At YYC Basement Sessions, that's right, yeah. We're on Facebook at YYC Basement Sessions. We're on the podcast app. If you've got an iPhone, we're on the podcast app, and we're on Spotify as well. We have a podcast coming out today, actually, in 1 minute.
Oh, there we go.
And yeah, with Kyle Grunninger. I can't remember his second name. But yeah, he's a singer who was on We Will Rock You, who was in the Canadian cast of We Will Rock You that did that sort of
Nice.
year-long tour. He's really good friends with Benton, actually. They've worked together at New West Theatre. Yeah, so we interviewed him. He's a super nice bloke. Yeah, that was a crazy interview. It was to us. It wasn't really an interview. It's kind of just a chat and just a laugh, you know. So
Yeah.
Yeah, he talked a bit about We Will Rock You and his band Incura as well, who've are a big band in Canada. I think based out of Vancouver, toured Europe and stuff. And yeah, so we interviewed him, and we've got a bunch of unbelievable artists this month. I'm just editing one that's going to be released. So it's Monday and Thursday. That's when we release videos and podcasts.
Okay.
So we released Kyle today, and we've got another artist on Thursday, and then yes, Monday and Thursday, like every week.
Monday and Thursday. So check them out. Lots of watch, listen, and find new people to support and discover some great things. So check them out. And of course, if you want to get in touch and learn more about Ben and maybe learn some lessons, you've got benmontgomerydrums.com. You can also check out as well. So
yeah.
Lots of ways to get a hold of you.
Lots of ways to get a hold of me. Yeah, I just started that website. My website.
I do my research.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, it took me ages to design that. Wix though, Wix is so easy to use. But yeah, it's benmontgomerydrums.com, Ben Montgomery Music, Instagram, Ben Montgomery Drums / educator on Facebook, whatever. Yeah, it's you'll find me somewhere.
Yeah, it's easy. Trust me, it's easy enough to stalk him. I mean, I'm actually in a van outside his place right now. That's the car.
That's the car. Yeah. I actually got TikTok. Benton said I should get TikTok. I don't really know what TikTok is. Is this a new Vine? Have you heard of TikTok?
Yeah, I don't. I downloaded it. I don't understand it. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. Yeah. So Benton's got it. Benton does like magic tricks on TikTok. So I got it, but I don't really know how I'm going to use it. So I think I might just use it to film like scaring Benton and Shelby and stuff like that. You know, just.
I like that plan. That's a good plan. I would watch that. That's all I want to watch. Is people being scared.
Honestly, I could just stand outside the bathroom. When Shelby's in the back, I just stand outside the bathroom, and then she opens the door, and she sits and she just shits her pants. I'm just like, God, you're so easy to scare.
Oh, I love it. I love it when people are so easy to scare. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah. Actually, Shelby started these YouTube videos as well. They're called Shelby Talks Shite, and yeah, people need to check them out because they're hilarious. Benton is the producer.
Yeah.
Benton edits the videos. He films it and edits the videos, and because. Yeah, shelves all over the shop. So we literally just filmed one last week, and it's like smoothies and stuff. And Benton made like horrendous smoothies, and Shelby has to guess what's in the smoothies. It's hilarious. Go check them out. Shelby Talks Shite.
Okay, we've got so much to check out. Well, thank you, Ben. Like, it's been an absolute pleasure talking with you.
You too, mate.
You've got lots of great stories, and I look forward to when this is all done and we can grab a pint together, and you can try and teach me drums, and I will be awful at it.
Honestly, like, you know what? People think they'd be awful at drums, but like, it's actually not as hard as you think, especially the basics and stuff. I taught Benton how to play drums, so if Benton can play drums, you can play drums.
That should be your motto. If I can teach Ben how to play drums, you can learn.
Anyone can, yeah.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, Ben. Check them out. at YYC Basement Sessions, at Ben Monty Music, everything. And make sure to follow us on Instagram at PTW Craig. And we'll chat soon. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you so much.